In today's episode of PKBinspire, I'm going to share with you 5 lessons that I learned from organizing 2 TEDx events. Stay tuned. For those of us who might not know what TED stands for, so TED is the global platform for sharing innovative ideas that pushes the frontiers of thinking, ideas that are worth sharing. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. The organization gives the opportunity for individuals to organize TED-like events within their communities to address specific issues that affect those communities. My journey with TED actually began whilst I was a student on KNUST campus in Kumasi. I had watched about 100 TED Talks on my laptop and was fascinated by the groundbreaking ideas that the likes of Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and so forth were sharing on the platform. I immediately thought to myself that there are a lot of young people in Kumasi who were already working on such great ideas. The likes of Charles Ofori, Antipim, Michael Efrifa, the likes of Aloysius Atta. I mean, these were people who were already at the time doing very innovative things and were already working on innovative ideas. The question really that came to me was, how was I going to bring such a brand to Kumasi to ensure that the young people in our community on KNUST campus would have that platform to share their ideas. I'm always motivated by the saying, this African proverb, until the lion learns to write, tales of the hunt would always glorify the hunter. It meant to me that until we as Africans create our own opportunities for people to share their ideas and to tell our narrative, other people would tell the narrative for us. And I didn't want this to happen. So I began researching into how I could organize a TEDx event in Kumasi. Lesson number 1, believe that it can be done. When I set out to organize my first TEDx event, I shared the idea with some close friends of mine. And this was very important because at the initial stage of any ideation process, there are always doubts. I mean, I had my own doubts. I was not sure whether I was even qualified or had the credential to apply for the TEDx license. I spoke with Emmanuel Ofori-Sapong, who eventually became my co-organizer. And then we organized the team. Kuku Amanfo was absolutely crucial as well. But what was notable was that we all believed that it could be done. So I went through the rigorous process of applying for the TEDx license. And at the time, there were not so many TEDx events in Ghana. And so there was little benchmarking that I could do. I had to just take a leap of faith. And I remember I shared with you in my previous video that the entrepreneur is that person who jumps off a cliff and builds a parachute mid-air in order for him or her to land safely. So yes, lesson number 1, believe it can be done. Whatever idea you have, whatever vision that you want to pursue, you need to believe, you have to believe that it can be done. And once you have this impetus, you move with a certain speed, you move with a certain understanding and confidence, courage to pursue that idea that you have. Lesson number 2, teamwork makes the dream work. I believe in synergy. My core moral is that whatever dream you have, whatever vision you have, whatever business you set out to do, it would require a team to make it happen. When I eventually received that email that says that my license application for TEDx KNUST had been approved, I knew for sure that this was going to require team effort. I got my co-licensee Emmanuel Ofori-Sapong, I got Kuku Amanfo. I mean, a lot of young people on KNUST campus were ready to volunteer. A lot of times when we think about team, we are thinking about, do I have money to really pay them? But it would surprise you that there are a lot of people who have the talent, the skill set, and are as passionate as you, who are willing to volunteer their time and their expertise in order to make your dream work. Never go solo. If you go solo, yes, you go fast. But if you want to go far, you need a team to make it work. Teamwork ensures that a diverse array of expertise, of talent, of ideas are brought on board. Yes, you are the initial vision bearer, but the implementation and execution of that vision requires a multiplicity of talent and of expertise. And you would bear with me that you don't have all the expertise in this world to make that idea work. So definitely build a team that believes in you, build a team that believes in the vision that you carry, build a team that shares the same values. Lesson number 3, there would be naysayers. When we eventually got the team in place, so the first process was that I applied for the license. I managed to talk to some friends of mine who eventually came on board, and we constituted the team. The next aspect of the implementation process was to get sponsorship. I remember very well, I spent sleepless nights, days upon days writing sponsorship proposals. I wrote to so many of the banks, the telcos, and I was pitching to them that this was going to be the first ever TEDx event outside the capital city of Accra. I wrote lots of emails, sent lots of proposals, and none of them even had the courtesy of replying to tell me we are not interested. So there was zilch, absolutely no response, and it was a bit demoralizing. But yet again, like I mentioned earlier, I had a team that believed in the vision, and we were going to make this happen. So what did we do? Instead of focusing on the naysayers, instead of focusing on non-responsiveness of these corporate entities, we set out in a very innovative way to still get startups on campus to somehow provide their services as a form of support for our TEDx event. And so I remember very well, we got some startups who had just started making food on campus, and they said, okay, look, we're going to give you a discount on the refreshment that you're going to serve. We got another startup that gave us free drinks, Sobolo to be specific, that is the hibiscus drink. We got another friend who said, look, I'll take care of photography and videography, right? So eventually the startups that we're focusing on to create this platform for them came through for us. Always remember that there would be naysayers. However, if you're able to focus on the goal, you would somehow, some way, somehow, you would attract the necessary resources to make your dream work. Lesson number 4. Remember that profit is not always equal to money. I understood very well that undertaking this journey to organize the TEDx event was not a profiteering venture. However, at the end of this whole process, the license application process, learning to build a team, learning to share the vision, learning to get the buy-in of startups to sponsor the TEDx event, getting all the necessary logistics together, getting my speakers from Accra, getting speakers from the UK to come and speak for free for this event. I learned so much that the profit that accrues in your venture is not always in the form of cash. The profits that come out of such endeavor are usually intangible. My team building skills, leadership skills, marketing skills were all put to the test. And this is where I learned a lot of my organizational skills. I was able to consequently organize, other events apart from these TEDx events. For every interview I've attended, I've made reference to organizing these TEDx events. Most people who really are into innovation, who are into business, who are into transformational leadership and thought leadership, one way or the other have heard about TED. So when they know or they hear that I have organized 2 TEDx events, they immediately know the kind of person that I am, because organizing these TEDx events takes a lot from you. The benefits that I got from these TEDx events, organizing these TEDx events, were not physical cash. If anything at all, my own resources went into these events. But the satisfaction that I received was that I was able to create a platform for young entrepreneurs, for innovators, people who are on the cutting edge of serious breakthrough, transformational breakthrough, had the opportunity to share with the world what they were working on. My motivation was, let us create the African narrative. Let us create a platform using the existing global brand to tell the African story. Let us ensure that the world knows that a remnant of KNUST students who were not conforming to the status quo, who were innovators, who were thinkers, who were deep thinkers and working on solutions to address the global problems that we're facing. Your profits will not always come in the form of cash. Lesson number 5, have fun while doing it. What do I mean? No matter how daunting the vision you have is, no matter how big you think the idea is, just have fun while doing it. I still remember that Kukua Manfo came up with the idea to, for example, use beads as lanyards for the first TEDx event. It was the first time I had heard of such an amazing idea. Of course, we're resource constrained. So when she came up with this idea, I was like, whoa, this is exciting. So I remember she went to town, bought some beads, and then she brought it back, we printed the name tags and all that. People saw that for the first time in an event, they could still take home some form of accessory at the end of the event. So the lanyards that we used were made from beads, and we had fun doing it. I remember the night before, Kukua and the team were painting the TEDx stagecraft, and we're putting together lots of things, and none of the team members was even complaining. It was late at night. Most of us, at the time we were all students and we're tired from the day, but we had fun doing it. And in organizing such an event, what I learned in life is that in pursuing your dream, in trying to make something out of your life, make sure that you have fun doing it. Make sure that you smile. Make sure that you go into that challenge with a certain mindset, a conqueror's mindset. Make sure that you go with that excitement, that energy to make it work. And of course you can make it work. So these are the 5 lessons that I learned from organizing 2 TEDx events. I do hope these principles or these lessons that I learned, no matter how mundane they may seem, would be of vital importance to you as you pursue your own dreams and as you make things happen in your community and in your society. Of course, there will be differences, but just make it work.